People often assume that innovation starts with perfection, that to build something extraordinary, you must already know exactly what you're doing. But that's not how progress works. If anything, innovation is proof that imperfection is our greatest resource. We look at the world, we see what's broken, we feel what's missing, and something inside us refuses to accept that this is the best we can do. Every breakthrough I've ever chased began with not having the answers. And honestly, that's the fun part. Because when you don't have everything figured out, possibility is huge. There's room to experiment, to fail, to try again, to laugh at the ridiculousness of ideas that somehow become reality. Rockets landing themselves sounded insane. Electric cars dominating the roads sounded laughable. But the only difference between impossible and inevitable is as a person who keeps going anyway. We are human, we get confused, we doubt ourselves, we malfunction mentally and emotionally, and that's okay. We're not designed to be flawless, we're designed to evolve. Progress isn't a straight path, it's messy, chaotic, and sometimes it feels like the world is asking us to quit. But that's exactly when curiosity needs to be louder than fear. I'm not asking anyone to fix me or to understand every part of what I'm trying to solve. I just want people willing to walk beside me while I figure it out. Because improvement, real improvement, comes from accepting imperfection and upgrading ourselves one step at a time. We don't innovate because we're perfect. We innovate because we refuse to stay the same. Confidence is overrated. People think confidence is the key to success, that you have to feel ready before you do anything extraordinary. But curiosity doesn't wait. Curiosity pushes you forward even when you're unsure, even when you're scared, even when the world laughs because they can't see what you see. Some of the greatest ideas in history started with someone simply wondering, why not? Or what if? Before there was data, before there was approval, before anyone agreed it made sense, there was a question. That's where progress actually begins, not with certainty. With curiosity, I never wake up thinking, yes, everything is perfectly under control. That would be boring. Instead, I wake up thinking, what problem are we going to solve today? That little spark of curiosity is what drives rockets to space, what turns a sketch into a spacecraft, what transforms doubt into discovery. You don't need belief from others as long as you're willing to explore the unknown yourself. People will tell you to be realistic, to wait until you have more experience, to stop dreaming so big. But big things aren't built from caution. They're built from fascination, from letting your questions lead you into places no one has mapped yet. So if you feel uncertain, good. If you don't have all the answers, even better. It means you're right at the edge of something new. Keep asking the hard questions. Follow the path that has no signs yet. Curiosity doesn't require confidence. Curiosity creates confidence. People often assume that support means solutions, that if someone cares, they'll jump in and start fixing everything that looks broken. But not every challenge needs a repair. Sometimes we just need someone who stays, someone who listens without correcting. Someone who doesn't panic when we're exploring the parts of ourselves that aren't polished yet. When you're building something new, especially yourself, there will be moments of uncertainty. Moments when things feel out of balance. Moments where others are tempted to step in and take control. But growth doesn't happen when someone else solves your puzzle. Growth happens when you're given the space to solve it yourself. We don't need people to drag us to the finish line. We need people willing to walk beside us, no matter how strange or slow the journey looks from the outside. Not every emotion needs a blueprint. Not every fear needs a lecture. Sometimes the best help is just presence, being there without trying to steer the ship. What I appreciate most are the rare individuals who say, I don't fully get what you're dealing with, but I'm not going anywhere. Because that kind of support gives you confidence to explore your own questions. It gives you room to process, to break down, to rebuild, to evolve. The mission may be personal, but the feeling of not being alone changes everything. And the truth is, we all have inner engineering to do, updates to install, errors to debug, wiring to untangle. No one else can do that work for us. Support isn't about solving someone. Support is about staying while they solve themselves. We like to think strength comes from having everything under control, from being composed, confident, and unshakable all the time. But that's not how humans are built. We're messy. We're emotional. We crack under pressure, we doubt ourselves, and sometimes we feel completely lost. And that's not failure, that's humanity. If rockets can explode on the launch pad and still lead us to space, then a human being can have a few rough days and still build something incredible. Mistakes aren't glitches in the system. They're upgrades waiting to happen. Every flaw we face forces us to learn, to adjust, to improve. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's a sign we're still evolving. The strongest people I know are the ones who admit when they're overwhelmed and still show up anyway. The people who say, I don't have this figured out yet, but keep going. There's bravery in being honest about the parts of ourselves that still need work. We spend so much time trying to hide the cracks, but the future doesn't belong to the flawless. It belongs to the ones who can adapt, the ones who are willing to confront their own chaos and turn it into clarity. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we allow ourselves to grow. So don't let anyone convince you that you have to be perfect to make an impact. Perfection is static. It never changes, it never invents, it never leads. Being vulnerable means you're still in motion. And anything that's still moving can reach new heights. Vulnerability isn't a glitch. It's the starting point of real strength. We spend so much time exploring the world outside, building machines, mapping planets, sending technology farther than humans have ever gone. But the greatest frontier is still the one inside our minds. The human brain is the most advanced piece of technology on Earth, and yet it comes without a manual. We can launch rockets into orbit, but we're still learning how to navigate our own thoughts and emotions, and that's okay. That's part of the adventure. Understanding ourselves isn't a project you finish. It's a lifelong experiment. Some days, everything feels aligned, like every neuron is cheering you on. Other days, it's chaos, wires crossed, signals scrambled, motivation missing, inaction. But those internal puzzles are just as important to solve as anything happening in a lab or a control room. The drive to improve the world around us has to be matched with a willingness to improve the world within us. We upgrade software, redesign engines, optimize energy systems. So why not evolve our thinking the same way? Curiosity shouldn't only apply to galaxies and technology. It should apply to who we are and who we can become. The deeper we understand ourselves, the better we are at shaping a future worth living in. Because every breakthrough, every invention, every bold idea starts in the mind of a person who is willing to explore their own complexities without fear. We can build extraordinary things, but the most extraordinary thing we can ever build is a version of ourselves that is more aware, more resilient, and more capable than the one before. The mind isn't a limitation, it's our greatest launch pad. Sometimes people think strength means doing everything alone. They imagine that the greatest achievements happen in a vacuum, one person, one mission, one unstoppable path forward. But anything worth building, anything that changes the world, takes more than one mind, more than one heart. The truth is, even the most independent thinkers still need connection. We aren't designed to operate in isolation. We need a hand on our shoulder sometimes, a voice reminding us that we're human, and that being human means needing others. Collaboration isn't weakness. Vulnerability isn't failure. Asking someone to simply sit with us during the hard moments, that can be one of the bravest things we ever do. Because innovation doesn't just come from intelligence or ambition or insane work ethic. It comes from belonging, from knowing that even if the world doesn't fully understand us, someone is still willing to stand beside us while we try to understand ourselves. The people who stick around when things get confusing, when progress slows down, when we're questioning our place in everything, those are the ones who make the journey worth it. They might not have the answers, but their presence reminds us we don't have to face the unknown alone. And in those moments, we discover something powerful. Partnership isn't about fixing each other. It's about growing together. So if someone reaches out, or if you feel the urge to reach out, don't hesitate. Don't apologize for needing support. Because the most advanced rockets still require a launch pad. The boldest explorers still need a crew. Greatness isn't a solo mission. It's a shared trajectory toward a brighter future.